All right. Greetings, and welcome to Live Courageously, the podcast show number 17 of 2023. I'm your host, John Duffy, and this is the 33rd live Live Courageously podcast show since I started the show a year ago. Live Courageously has been my conscious theme of my life for the last 3 years since the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, and it's been an unconscious theme for most of my life. If you haven't seen the previous 32 podcasts with some of my amazing, courageous friends sharing their powerful stories of overcoming all odds, going on to live powerful lives and making a difference in the world, you can watch them on my John Duffy Live Courageously YouTube channel. And I have another 75 plus friends planned to be guests on my future shows. So please subscribe to my Live Courageously YouTube channel at Duff SQ Film and keep coming back every Sunday at 2 p.m. So why do I say live courageously? Because fear is a reaction, but courage is a choice. And I suggest you consciously choose courage and you choose faith over fear every time you experience fear in your life. Choosing courage will help you deal with whatever life may throw at you in the future. And trust me, it'll throw stuff at us that we don't like or want. So today, my friend and guest is Andre Andrews Jr. And Andre served in the U.S. Navy as a minesweeper on a minesweeper ship in Bahrain in the early 2000s. And as a direct result of deployment and living in restless fear of the enemy, he developed PTSD and anxiety that lived with him even after his service was complete. Safety and comfort is something that he has sacrificed, and he has cited sleeplessness, fatigue, depression, anxiety, and inability to focus, among other symptoms that have been debilitating before he founded his program. He was directed to one prescription medication after the next to cope with these illnesses, but his mental health still declined as he readapted to the civilian world. He didn't feel there were many other accessible, low-cost programs to help him and others reconnect with himself and society. And as he knows the financial instability that can follow leaving active duty, he is ensured that no veteran or first responder service member will ever be deterred by high costs typically associated with the rehab programs and the equestrian industry. Warriors Road is a program he created and is proudly no cost to all veterans, active duty, and first responders. Andre didn't have it easy growing up, facing a rough childhood and overcoming a few tough personal patches before he pursued the military. He was cycled through the U.S. Navy and emerged, I mentioned, with crippling mental issues, yet still he had the desire to serve others. And it's incredibly admirable that he devotes so much time to Warriors Road, first to arrive and last to leave, rain or shine, in 100-degree heat or pouring rain. He recognized as a Black cowboy, has moved on with grace in a predominantly white equestrian community to build relationships from the ground up. Despite opposition and shocking disrespect from others, he's never once been deterred from this, and he's pushed on, leading Warriors Road with grace and continuing to champion his mission above all else. He truly cares about his horses and creating a safe place for all visitors, regardless if they are civilian volunteers, first responders, community members, service members, or veterans, and more. He wants everyone to feel at home. It's impressive that he continues to fund what he can despite being from humble background and cutting into his own pocket so Warriors Road can still stand today. He's a true meaning of service and selflessness and a pillar of strength. In a predominantly Caucasian industry of equestrian industry, Warriors Road stands out as Black owned and operated, and the team is nearly 70% people of color, 50% women, ages 20 to 60. All voices are respected on the table. And the clientele for Warriors Road includes all kinds of individuals, whether it be tech, film, entertainment, medical, or art. And the programs cater to all levels of comfort. The equine world can feel exclusive and cold at times, but Andre is doing away with traditional barriers so visitors feel welcome. Andre understands community and is known for cookouts, gathering with different people, good meals, and riding. It's a lot of stuff there, brother. And welcome, my good brother Andre to Live Courageously. Thank you, brother.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm not gonna lie, that was a hell of an intro. I'm gonna have you do all my intros at my future events because I don't think I could have said that better myself, man.
Hey, well, you're very welcome. And usually I start the show out with two things. I'm kind of gonna jump in front of that today because all those things that were in that intro about you making it a a safe place and just a cool place. I've had the experience last weekend. I'm gonna put up a picture to go visit you there, and with my daughter, and that's a picture of us and me on a horse. So, you know, and you did that, and so in honor of you, I'm gonna take off my baseball cap and I'm gonna put on what I should have been wearing when I was riding with you, man. So, and
you might have to straighten it up a little bit.
Straighten it up a little bit, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's orange straight with that damn brow you got. We have to get you a new hat.
Man. Anyway, I should have been wearing this, but you know, it's kind of funny when I was there, Andre. I asked you where you were from and when you started riding horses, and I thought maybe you did it when you were young. And you told me you grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and I grew up in the South Bronx. So obviously, right now, two urban cowboys, man. You know, but
yes,
anyway, thank you. What's that?
I was just saying the military taught us we just got to make our own way, bro. That's it.
Yeah, well, you know, when we showed up there, you threw us right into it. We started shoveling shit, so to speak, horse shit, and we started helping clean in the stalls, and we got right into it. We did everything. We got to ride. It was a great experience, man. So thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. No problem. It's my pleasure to have you out there.
Sorry it took so long. Man, it was good. So to start the show off, usually I ask two questions. One is to kind of like, because most of the guests are people I know personally. Where did we meet? How did we meet the first time, if you remember?
I'm gonna have to say we met. It's gonna have to be the DME meeting at Post 43, but it was for sure Post 43. So Hollywood right. American Legion Post 43 is where we first met each other for sure.
And so, you know, that was, you're absolutely right. And I'm a son of the Legion there. You're a member of the Legion as a veteran. And so we met at Post 43 American Legion in Hollywood, which is a great facility. And that was the first time we came together. And then we talked about your work and everything like that. So it was we've stayed friends over the years because of that. The other question I like to ask, and, I think your life reflects this, Andre, is what does live courageously mean to you?
Live courageously means live free, live hard, live to fight for others other than yourself. It take a bigger man to help fight for other people and not just themselves. So, or just a bigger human in general. So it means just like being selfless, I think, fight courageously.
Well, I think that's a good way of defining it, man. And so take us back on your journey. I mean, you started out as a young man back in Newark, New Jersey, and for those who may not know Newark, and I do, it's a tough environment. Just similar to where I grew up in the South Bronx. They're both pretty tough environments, and you went from that and into the military. So share a little bit of your backstory.
All right, so I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey, 1983. Just aged myself, but it was called the Brick City. Newark was, and like you were saying, it was rough as a young kid coming up. It was a prime time for like movies like New Jersey Drive, where everybody was stealing cars and ripping the streets and front wheel drive Hondas. So it was a pretty crazy experience. I'm gonna say. It was gangs back then, obviously, but definitely gangs today work different than they did back then. So being a black man from a black neighborhood, I wasn't scared. You know what I mean? I was amongst my people. It was tough, but you learn to live with it. And it's unfortunate, but in our community, we just learned to live with organized chaos. So I really believe like that experience helped me kind of like navigate my way once I got into the military. But leaving New Jersey, I did high school in North Carolina, and that's kind of maybe where I got my southern roots from a bit. Still didn't get my hands on horses in North Carolina, and I just went with the high school though. I graduated in 2001 from North Brunswick High School in Leland, North Carolina, and then I enlisted into the United States Navy from Raleigh. I think I graduated on Saturday, and then on that Sunday. I graduated on Saturday, and I think that Tuesday I was at boot camp already. So I really didn't have no summer. I was just like, let me just get the hell out of here. It's better to just get away instead of sitting around here lingering around and get myself in trouble. So I went on ahead into the service, man, and here we are today.
Now, what got you to decide to join the service and join the Navy in particular? What was anybody in your family, or was it just a path out for you, a way to start a different future? What got you to do it?
And to be honest with you, let's say you had a thought back then. I had a little sister, so well, still have her. And I just knew my dad couldn't maybe afford to send us both to college, so I knew I was getting out a year before her. So I was like, well, I can go into the military when you help my sister, And I was just thinking about the military at that point, and then two branches that caught my eyes was honestly the Air Force and the Navy. I had zero much respect to everybody, Army and Marines. Love you boys, but I had zero inclination to the Army and Marines. Okay, so it was either the Navy or the Air Force, and Air Force recruiter was doing real good by me, but the Navy recruiter just hit me with like, you can travel, and I really didn't believe him though, because they just said don't believe your recruiter, because I already got screwed off my job, so that's a whole nother recruit story. But anyway, yeah, I chose the Navy because I just knew it was going to give me the ability to go around the world, and it sure enough did it.
And where did you get to travel with the Navy? What countries did you get to go to, or how many as a Navy military?
So, yeah. Technically, in 2001, my first ship was USS The Raven, which is MHC 61 out of Manama, Bahrain. So my first deployment was forward deployed there. So I lived in Bahrain for 2 years. So in the duration of my 2 years there in Bahrain, we got to see some traveling. Wasn't much, but definitely seen some of the desert countries like Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, Dubai, Saudi Arabia. Those like some of our neighboring countries. So we got to touch down, and my minesweeper got to touch down some of those small countries: Qatar, Dubai, Iraq, and Kuwait. So we did stop to those four. But in the mix of me being forward deployed in Bahrain, coming home on leave, I had the ability to maybe like dip in to a couple other countries. So I think I clocked in like Azores, and I clocked in like Amsterdam on that duration of my first 2 years in the military. But what really set me over the bar was my second ship. After I got off USS The Raven, I did 2 years on the Raven. I got a new job in the supply department in Bahrain. So I was going to my next ship in the supply department. So I wasn't undesignated like I was in Bahrain. And boy, being undesignated seaman on a minesweeper in Bahrain was a rough 2 years, because it's hot as hell in Bahrain. I mean, it's hot. It's 100 degrees on Christmas night. Wow. So it's like, imagine the summer times there, So it was insane, and doing a lot of work outside was treacherous, but it was a phenomenal experience. I would never take it back. But like I said, 2 years later, here I am getting on board the USS The Sullivans in the supply department. It changed my life too. I met some phenomenal people on board the Sullivans. And just having that ability to learn such a bigger platform. Like, my first ship was so much smaller than my second ship. Like, my first ship had like 60 people on it, max. And that might even be too many. Might not be even that many people. But my second ship had like 365 people. So going from just 60 to like 365, and it's just 60 people in one engine room division alone on a destroyer, So having the ability to kind of meet all those new people and getting ready for a 6-month deployment. I never understood what a 6-month deployment was, because I just did 2 years. So looking at everybody cry because you got to go out to sea for 6 months, I was like, man, it's 25% of my last deployment. This is going to be cake. So it was, and we left port. I forgot what month of the year, but it wasn't too long after I transferred on the ship in like 2003. And 2004, man, we just traveled the world, bro. I seen, I think total, we had 19 different ports on that deployment. Wow. And I thought it was the best time of my life. So I heard in stories like, oh my God, if you was on a carrier, you could be out to sea for 6 to 8 months and never see a port. So I was scared of that, but I wasn't scared of that coming from Bahrain. And Bahrain kind of, once you leave like a I'm gonna say a high tension duty station, they sometimes give you the ability to pick your next duty station. So it's kind of cool getting to choose Florida. But I was like, all right, I'm going to Florida. That's going to be cake. I'm not going to go on no deployments. And boy, maybe 4 months after I got to this next ship, they was like, yeah, you going right back out to sea. I was like, all right, let's do it. So it was fun. And traveling and on my second ship was phenomenal. My captain was like a dignitary somehow inside of our detachment. We was a Sixth Fleet, Fifth Fleet, something like that. So once you leave, your destroyer is part of a carrier battle group. So it's kind of a blessing to have my CO be so important and travel to so many different countries. And we had to just like, our ship was like always like a meal op. So different dignitaries from other countries would come on board. We would wine and dine them and send them home. Then for the next few days, the whole ship would just go rip through their town, the city, or wherever we pulled in. So having the ability to come across these people was a unique experience. And just hit the longest I think we did out to sea was 19 days. And that 19 days was crossing the pond, the Atlantic, which was the longest stint. So it'd take you like 2 weeks, like full sail from leaving Florida to make it to your first European country. It'd take you maybe like 2 weeks. And that was like Djibouti, right up by Africa. It's like one of our first set of countries we hit. So we went through the Straits of Hormuz for the Rock of Gibraltar over there near Djibouti and Morocco, and then went on up into the Mediterranean. And it was a phenomenal experience from there.
And at some point, when you finished your term of service, you came out and you had to transition from that experience in the military, both the good and and the stress of it, into civilian life. It talked a little bit in your bio, but what was that transition like for you? Because a lot of times, and this better than I do, the transition from being in the military and having that team and having that people, serving a purpose and mission, and now you're back out in the civilian world with, it's all different now, and you got to kind of, figure your way out again. What was that like for you personally, making that transition from military to civilian, and how hard was it?
I'm gonna be honest, it was like a shell shock. Most humans, like, all right, we go through our 4 years in the military, we're so pent up with maybe anger or aggression towards our superiors, and then we just like, all right, screw it. We're all just going to get out. I'm not telling nobody not to get out or it's a bad thing to get out or retire or something like that, but sometimes it's not always good just to follow your first instinct and just walk away like that. I say that because got out. I'm like, mind you, my ship was stationed in Jacksonville, Florida. I just did 4 years in the Navy, and I managed a supply department, helped manage my supply department once I got out, right? So supply and logistics is my background. But you would think that this would be a prime area to go get work in. Like, I'm in Florida, I'm in the marina area. I could just get any job, once I get out in a boating area in Florida. I'm gonna be honest with you. I couldn't get a sweeping job at a dock in Florida, let alone some sort of office job at some sort of marina or dock in Florida. The biggest, at banks, I tried to get a job at a bank, a few different places. And the biggest excuse, I don't know if I want to call it excuse or what, but hey, you can't say, well, you need experience to have the job. You don't give me the experience because I just got my military experience. But then on the same side, you could tell me I'm overqualified for a job. Because, a lot of times in the service, we get certified on a lot of different things, right? So if you certified on forklift and all these different truck parts or whatever your job may be, you can be certified in a lot of different things in your field of work. So you get out, and my biggest excuse for Florida specifically was told to me, like, you just overqualified. And if we hire you, you work hard, we may have to let go our manager because you might know more than him. Well, I was like, well, wouldn't that be good to have somebody like this in your ranks? And it just couldn't get a yes, man. So I had to learn, like, and what really got me into production was the nose. And then I had a cousin in Florida, gave me a production opportunity. And I've just been in entertainment since then.
And when you say a production opportunity, what did that cousin offer you? What did you do the first production? And you're talking about obviously in the film industry or entertainment industry. What was that opportunity that your cousin gave you?
For sure. My first entertainment job was, just with my military resume, I was able to get coordinating job, to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like assistant manager, production coordinator job for this producer of events. And he did multiple events throughout the year, and he also did one big event at the end of the year. So his main event was something called Zoe Summer Groove in Miami, Florida. This is like pretty much right when Alonzo Mourning was still, I mean, he probably still big in Miami, but Alonzo Mourning was like retired from the Miami Heat. And my cousin used to work for his production company, and he actually, did some events with Donald Trump. So it was kind of fun. I got out in 2005, moved to Fort Lauderdale, started doing that. And then once he got me the job, I just kind of stayed focused on production, and that's where it was at. So I met my wife down there in 2005 as well. So she's from Miami. So it was a pretty phenomenal opportunity, starting there in South Florida. So I learned a lot those 3 years. So I'm going to say every summer, my biggest thing was this 3-day event that we put on in front of the Miami Heat Arena. And I'm not gonna lie, for me, 23 years old, 24, fresh out of the military, having this opportunity with like all these celebs, all these big different brands and stuff like that. It was a very unique experience. But mind you, I'm still even if Miami is a big market, once you get a job like that, you can be like a big fish, little pond, right? So yeah, I was in South Florida, like I'm doing it. I'm in production. I work all these big brands. I did a 3-day event twice a year. It's time for California. You know what I mean? So I thought that was the transition. To get out here, and it was like, what a rain on your parade. Let all the air out your balloon, and you are now a itty bitty fish in a massive sea of people. You know what I mean? So coming from Florida to California was definitely a different shell shock of experience in the production world alone. And that was something new for me too, in the transition of production, going from stage production, stage coordinating, to those type of celebrities to like coming out here. It's not that many stage production companies hiring you because they work with Live Nation or, major production houses that's been putting these things on for 20 years. So it's like, get in line, buddy, and go join somebody else's train that's already doing it. And that's the name of the game out here. So it's either you creating or you working for somebody. Only 2 options you got.
Well, obviously, when we met at the Legion and you were doing different aspects of film production and you were working at the time. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just throw up some quick pictures. We've just ran into each other just recently at a festival at the Post 43, a film festival. And this is there's you, with the clapper and everything on a short film that you did as part of the entry. And here's another picture with you in motion once again while you're doing it. And so that film was a film that you guys entered in, and that's the second year annual short film festival at the Post 43 in Hollywood. So you were involved in that as well. So tell us a little bit about that, and then a little bit about the types of things you did in LA. And like you said, a small fish in a big pond, but you scrambled. You did a lot of things working in film. So tell us about this little film that was at the festival. And then tell us about some of the stuff you do and have done in the film world.
So I'm going to start with the film since on top. It's called Mr. Rated Bar. It was a short film competition that was created for military veterans to shoot their short film inside of the American Legion Post 43, which is a very historic building. So technically, it was an opportunity for us as creators to utilize this historic place that's going to be timeless, and let's show our creativity within this historic place that's going to be timeless. So that was an opportunity. It was super fun. We only had 1 day to shoot, so I was able to book a lot of my friends. And great thing is that our main actress won Best Actress for her work in the production. So it was super good. Now, there was some other quality productions out there too, so I could definitely see why we didn't win Best Picture. But I was blessed as a producer on the project to have our actress win Best Actress. So that was a phenomenal opportunity. How I got started in production was 2010. Found LA Film School. LA Film School is easy to get into. Got in LA Film School. I met our brother Ohan in LA Film School.
Johan,
Um,
yes.
yeah. So that was a phenomenal opportunity, and I just learned a lot. Quentin Tarantino always said, "You never have to go to film school to really do this and really make it big." Because he didn't go to film school. But at the same time, I do understand as a service member going to get re-skilled, because that's key. Having these skill sets or having these trade backgrounds, whether it be electrician or carpenter, something like that. If you had construction work in military as a CB, you could go do art department. You know what I mean? So some of these things kind of translate. You could do tech systems. If you worked in communications in the military, you could do that tech stuff on the back end of post-production. So there's a lot of correlated things. So 2010, I went to LA Film School. I went to LA Film School because of Avatar. Avatar was like one of the first $1 billion movies that came out after Going with the Wind, and they did it with zero advertisement, just a man with a blue face, damn near no commercials. And they crushed it. So I was like, well, let me figure out this type of production, and film was it. So I studied film, worked on a lot of projects while I was in film, produced a lot of projects while I was in film school. I graduated film school, and I watched Iron Man. So Avatar did it in 17 weeks, made $1 billion. Iron Man, it was Iron Man 2, I believe, when I got out. Iron Man 2 did it in 10 days. So I was like, man, well, what was the difference between these movies? It was visual effects. So I was like, man, let me go get that skill set too. So I used my GI Bill, back to school for animation. So I learned how to do animation, rigging, Maya, Cinema 4D, 3D Studio Max, Photoshop, all that stuff. So that was a phenomenal skill set to have too. So it helped me out. Graduated film school. LA Film School got me a job working for the guy who created Hulu. I was his like junior producer, editor. He was starting a new YouTube channel. So jumping in the media space immediately right out of high school, military, production. I ran out of production, got a job. So I was like, nonstop. So at the same time, though, maybe I should have took a break just to figure some stuff out. But I didn't get an opportunity to, and I just jumped right on it. So working for the guy who created Hulu, learned the YouTube space. I learned the digital media space at that point. So I knew a lot was coming. The digital media world was transitioning everything around back then before it really hit, So I worked for him. And then after that job, I had LA Film School, got me another job. Working with my mentor right now. His name is Aaron Perry. He is the CEO of Deluxe and CEO of Stereoscopic 3D, which I learned how to do 3D. So I learned from him. I was a visual effects production coordinator for Stereo D when I graduated. Well, not when I graduated, but after I worked for the job, the Hulu job right out of LA Film School. And I worked on big projects like Godzilla and Ninja Turtles. So that was a blessing. So I got screen credit forever on the first visual effects Godzilla. So I'm always really proud of that. I got screen credit for this new Ninja Turtles that just came out. So I'm proud of that. But, like the industry is saying, you're only big as your latest project. So that's like me being a producer on a movie that came out in 2000. And that's 2023. You ain't still getting the same type of looks as you got in 2000 like you get in 2023 if you ain't got a 2022 project in the can. You know what I'm saying? So
I hear you.
If I'm understanding, you definitely understand how in the world, I feel like that's where it is right now. So I worked at Stereo D for a couple of years. Then I realized I really wanted to do more independent work. So then I started my own production company and started working for myself.
And then, of course, in the middle of all this, the other things that you did, obviously, you at one point became a member of the American Legion in Hollywood, and then Post 43, and then you also transitioned into Pacific Palisades post. What's the number? What's the number over there? 283, right? So here's just, I'm gonna throw up some quick pictures of this is with some folks in your post.
That's Michael Cassell. He is the state American Legion Writers Director, and the guy next to him is Mickey. They both super cool. I'm not gonna lie, they both been really cool to me and been welcome to me in the motorcycle ride community. And I just this world helped me break down some barriers, because as a brother, ride with Harley Davidson riders, it would feel uncomfortable, but it was a really comfortable situation. And American Legion has been a blessing to get this family. It was able to allow me to formulate. So
And then
coming back to that,
you also do this with the Legion. You all sponsor this, which I have not had a chance yet, but I hope to do in the future with you. And this is, you taking the Legion to the firing range.
Yeah.
And
Wow, thanks.
that's another activity that you do, right? And that we're still about to, we're like inching close to what I really want you to talk about. But this is just some of the stuff that you've done. So go ahead, talk about that.
So I found the American Legion through some people at LA Film School. It was Kyle Huntsman Stokes and Mike Dowling. They had just got that started maybe like 10 years now or something like that. But it was called VFT, Veterans of Film and Television. And they had got started in the basement of Hollywood Post 43. So that's how I found American Legion, through VFT. On the very first meeting I was there. So I was like, all right, this new thing, LA Film School told me to go to it. Veterans started meeting areas, first of its kind. All of veterans in Hollywood getting together in one building. Like, that's something. You know what I mean? So found the Legion through VFT, and then the Legion changed my life too. Because when I got in this big historic building, it was just so much rich history. Now, I'm a history buff. I like history. I was in the military. So I just felt connected to the building. All of the old veterans there. I met so many World War II veterans that became friends that I got photos with. That's going to change my life forever. And it's just like, I could really say that I met some of these people before they left planet Earth, Because right now it's like 3 or 4 of them that I got photos with aren't here no more. So it changed my life, the Legion and its camaraderie with this side of his walls. And yes, that range day that you seen with those guns was big on Second Amendment. I love guns, I love cars, horses, exciting stuff. And so I knew the Legion used to get us together if we did cool things together. So y'all want to go watch hockey? All right, let's get a group of veterans to go watch hockey. Basketball, football, baseball. You want to go listen to music, concerts, whatever. Post 43 was doing it when he first got started. So that the American Legion just really gave me a taste of some sense of like what we had in the military. I guess I would say that camaraderie, that togetherness. So I wanted to dedicate my lifetime to the Legion too. So then I just thought about maybe some political aspirations in the American Legion. But again, I was doing the programs first before I even thought about politics in the Legion, So I did that range day. That was one of the most successful programs we had. We made national with that program. You know what I mean? Politics slowed me down, but I'm not done though. But we're gonna bring it back though, for sure.
Well,
we're gonna bring our range days back for sure.
For me, as a civilian joining the American Legion, as a son of the Legion, my dad was in the Army. Once again, I had come out from doing some videos for the U.S. Marine Corps and meeting some great people. And then I said, well, let me make a contribution to veterans in Hollywood. And that's kind of what led me to like speak at the LA Film School, meet George Ohan, led me to join in the American Legion Post 43, and I got a chance to be part of, like you said, a great environment, a great facility, great people, just kind of doing good programs together, supporting people. And so it was a great opportunity for me as a civilian to say, hey, I can do a little bit with my skills as a film producer to help. But at the same time, I get to hang with some great people who are doing some great things as well. So it was kind of totally all around win-win. That's how I met you and some amazing other people. So, I'm kind of lucky and blessed that I had that opportunity and that, that I'm part of that world. So, it's a great thing, man.
Thanks, bro.
So now we're going to pivot because this is kind of the latest thing. I mean, if you weren't busy enough with doing the Legion and doing that and doing the film stuff, you got this idea to create this program to provide equine therapy for veterans and first responders. And I'm going to throw up the picture for Warriors Road, and that's you on a horse. And it's familiar because I think I was behind, not in this picture, but I was behind you last week as you were riding. So I got to see you in action. You were riding a little bit faster than I wanted to go, just saying, because I wasn't as good a rider as you are. But you created this program, Warriors Road. And why did you do that, Andre? What made you come up with this? And, you told me a little bit about when you got your first horse, when you started to ride. Share that with the audience. Take us through that little journey on your part.
I'm gonna have to say the idea started just like any other idea that I had within the Legion walls. So I just wanted to do something cool that I enjoyed with a bunch of other veterans who like to do it too. There wasn't this type of program in LA. It didn't exist. I couldn't go anywhere where I could hang out with other veteran friends on horseback ride. So I was like, well, the Legion, let's let the Legion create it. And I thought the Legion, well, an American Legion did help me out. In my transition from 43 to 123 to get recruited to come to post 283 in Pacific Palisades, that was a whole transition alone in the military. So when I got to Pacific Palisades, they asked for more cool creative projects. And this post did support me on the program. Now, mind you, the Legion didn't want to have it be a Legion program because they didn't want to be liable, which I understand. So they was like, well, instead of it being ours, why don't you just make it into a nonprofit? And here's some help to turn it into a nonprofit. And my post has been a blessing since then. So if it wasn't American Legion Post 283, Warriors Road would not exist. For sure. Because it was supposed to be a program there, and it was like, we'll make it a nonprofit. I had to figure it all out. This wasn't like no business plan that I had pre-wrote out or some big plan that I had. Like, I'm going to go execute this big old ranch plan and be a farmer. Like, no. I was just trying to do something cool with just other vets, but then I was kind of thrusted into it. So it was like, well, how do I develop this when veterans get to come up for free like we was doing with the Legion stuff? So I had cold called this one ranch one day, and I just asked this guy, I was like, hey, man, I'm trying to get the opportunity to have veterans come out and ride horses, and be around horses. Can I come volunteer at your ranch? He said, yeah. I started volunteering at his ranch. And then for a few days, started cleaning up really good, see what I could do. Just threw me some saddles. I was like, here's how you ride. Go stop left to right, stay on the horse. I was like, okay. And at that point, I just started riding all those horses. Slow horses, fast horses, easy horses, and hard horses. I was just riding, just learning. Got bucked a few times and got up and got back on. And at that point, I started studying other cowboys, like real cowboys. Some of these dudes got YouTube channels and channels online that really show you how to ride and be a better rider, be a better instructor. But the goal was just to be a better rider first. And then I was like, well, I want to develop this, become a better rider, but I want my other veterans to come share this with me. So he let me start to bring second and third veterans there to help me clean up. And then after we all cleaned up, we would take a stroll. And not gonna lie, he had maybe like 20 horses. So I was bringing groups of veterans out. We was just growing. And then at that point, man was like, it's time for you to get on your own, son. And I was like, all right. Well, he told me I got to start getting some of my own horses. Makes sense. So I want to burn up all his horses. So 2019, I somehow found Nancy. I picked her up first, and she changed my life. So once I got Nancy, we just started growing. Yeah. At one point, we had 9 horses. I had 9 horses with me on the trail, with me plus 8. So it was a very unique experience. Some horses got a little crazy, so I get rid of them. God say, we grab another one. So it was okay, but we learned. Now we got 5 solid, and this is what we doing now. So we 5 strong, and like I say, up to date, we probably helped maybe like 500 plus veterans and first responders.
Well, I know you let my daughter ride Nancy last weekend, so obviously that was special for her to ride your horse. And you told her how special the horse was to you, so that was very cool, man. But just being out there with you, the whole experience, just realizing, because you put in the work, you clean up, you do it all. You saddle the horse, you clean the horse, you go through the whole thing before you ride, and I think it's just such a great experience, just because you realize what it takes. It's not just come on out and have fun riding; it's come out and participate in the whole experience. And it connects you more to the horse, and it connects you more to the people, because all of you are doing the same thing together as a group, right? So, that's the environment that you created. And it was cool, because I went out there, had no idea what and the first thing you were like, yeah, let's start cleaning up the stables. I was like, yeah, let's go. But you realize that that's all part of what that experience is, and taking people through it is such a cool thing.
And a real horseman, if you was to leave California, and once you leave California, you got real cowboys. These dudes wake up to crack of dawn, go to sleep when the sun go down. You know, these dudes is working all day. If you work at like a real meat factory, these dudes is moving thousands of cattle daily on horseback. You know what I mean? Putting hundreds of miles in. So I have to tell people like, yo, you ain't cleaning cow poop, I'm sorry, and you're not really moving cattle all day. So if you want to come garner this free experience, come get the full experience. You know what I mean? Like, this is what these dudes really be out here working. You just come smell a little bit of poop for maybe an hour, you know, knock it out. And we got the rest of the time that you have here to get some good horsemanship experience. And at that point in time, you know, I like this peer cowboy type of environment that we trying to build here, because we want to be like an open door for the cowboys to become that. Come in, know how to tack up. I trust them in tacking up. They do the work at the ranch. Now they want to go for a stroll. Because this is what they know how to do. And this is what we want to build. These peer-to-peer cowboys, these real LA cowboys, urban cowboys, call them. You know what I mean? Come in there, gain some of this sweat equity, some of that elbow grease, and then enjoy the fruits of your labor afterwards. Groom them, brush them, wash them, hug them, kiss them, feed them carrots, all the pretty shit you see on TV. And then I bless you with the opportunity to go and put a saddle on. Put a saddle on. If you have the ability, you can ride. No problem at all. So no matter your skill level, I'm gonna make sure you get a good ride.
Well, I tell you, you know, my skill level was minimal, to put it mildly. You know, after 15 years getting back on a horse, and, you know, you took us through a nice range of experiences, man, through streams, up hills, down hills, past coyotes, you name it. You know, it was definitely a learning experience, and I felt it in muscles I didn't know I had for 2 days after that. But it was a great time, man. So I recommend it to everyone. I'm gonna throw up some quick pictures of you, because, well, here's the picture of Welcome to Warriors Road. That's the website you can go on, obviously, to connect with it, and we'll talk about that at the end. I'm just gonna throw up some quick pictures of you. Here's you. I don't know where this is, but it's in LA somewhere.
That's down in Santa Monica with the MVP walk last year. I took a horse. We walked down Wilshire Boulevard with a big group for MVP.
And then this is like, you know, some of the terrain that we kind of similar terrain that we went through the water. It's a bunch more pictures of you on the horse. You know, you doing the work of getting it together. So, and then here's a group of people getting ready to ride with you.
MVP.
What's that?
The mountaintop with MVP. We went to the mountaintop with MVP as a group.
So MVP is military veteran. What's the name of the actual name of that? Right.
Merging veterans and players. Yeah.
So that's another group out there. This year, once again, that's walking down somewhere.
That's in front of LA Film School right there.
In front of where?
LA Film School on Sunset Boulevard.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Wow. So, you know, once more.
That's Melrose Boulevard.
So, you know, so going from, and this came, you know, coming out of Sylmar. So obviously, you know, it was a nice ride down and back, right? Wherever you took it to.
You get a water break.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to put up that, you know, the next thing is tell us a little bit about how people get involved. You all right, brother?
Something went down the wrong throat, wrong pipe. I was doing good this whole interview. Sorry.
No worries, man. Hey, so tell people what you're looking, how they can support you. I'm gonna throw up this thing. This is volunteers needed. I'm gonna just leave it up there for a minute. You know, volunteers needed. So how can people do two things? How can people get involved and have the experience with you? Veterans, first responders, different people. How do they come out there? How do they connect? What is the experience for them? And then the other piece is, how can people volunteer, support you, donate, you know, come out there and do the work for you with you. How do we get them, you know, to kind of grow this and give you the support? Because, you know, I realized when I was out there, you know, you're a one-man army, man. You know, you're out there from, you know, morning to night doing all the work, and then you got a job as well. So it's not like your only thing that you do. So you're kind of juggling, and yet you do all of it. So, you know, I had to squeeze in time to get you this morning to do this. So, you know, you got a full plate, man. So people need to help you and step up and take this program and support you whatever way you can. So talk about that.
I just left the ranch, fed the horses, and then came over here for this interview. Then I'm going back to the ranch. B, we would love all the volunteers we can get. If anybody has the time and ability and want to come out, hang out with the horses, gain a lot of horsemanship experience, not expecting a ride, just want to come be around the horses on a daily basis freely, come volunteer with us. Come do that as well. Everybody who wants to be a part of our experience can check us out at warriorsroad.org. It's our website. You can check out all our information, a lot of ways to book us and things like that. But it's really for veterans and first responders. We want you to come out, we want you to come gain this phenomenal experience, this once in a lifetime experience that with these centennial beings that you might not garner anyplace else. And the key to us, because we're all here in Hollywood. I'm 20 minutes from LAX, 20 minutes from Hollywood, 15 minutes from anybody in the Valley. We would love for you all just to come out. So veterans and first responders, come out and check out Warriors Road. We would love to have you out to the ranch. And any other civilian that want to help us out, please come back and volunteer. Thank you.
All right. And that once again is a volunteer intake form. You'll see all that if you go on warriorsroad.org. Is that correct? So that's the
Warriors Road. Yes, sir.
Warriors
You can find us on you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, all of the regular style social medias. But to get in contact with us, warriorsroad.org. Yes, sir.
And people can help in whatever way. So obviously, you can come out and help at the farm. You can help with social media. You can help with promoting warriorsroad.org so that, it can expand. What's that?
Please donate. I said, if they would like to donate as well, please donate. We're looking for sponsors that come help us with medical bills, shoes, grains, a lot of extra stuff that we need to run a ranch. We can still use some sponsors for that. There's some donors for that. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And if you can help get sponsors, who are in the equestrian world to be able to sponsor and be able to sponsor products or whatever way that's going to help Andre take care of the cost of making this program continue and to help it grow, that would be greatly appreciated. And definitely if you have a chance to connect and go out there and see it with your own eyes, you're going to have a great experience. It's going to, you're definitely going to want to help out. So I can't encourage it enough. What else is on the future for you, Andre? Obviously, you want to grow this program. You want to continue to do it. And then you got other things that you're doing. You're still doing stuff with film, whatever little time you got. So, what else do you see down the road for yourself?
All right. So I paused because if you're going to edit, I hope you can edit this out.
I can't edit it. So, so don't either don't say it or.
Okay. So I was trying to get a break the cough, y'all. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry.
All right. So yeah, I work for Community Veteran Justice Project, CVJP. Right now, what we do is we can help veterans with legal services if they have them. If you got a felony, you got a misdemeanor, we can help you get them expunged. If you got DUI, we can work on expungement or deferment, child support, divorce attorneys. We can help you with a little bit of everything. And if you need a discharge upgrade, we can help you with that as well. So if you need any legal advice on legal services, please see me at cvjp.org. But you can email me at andre.andrews@cvjp.org for sure. That's my regular job. After I feed the horses in the morning, and in between the day, I'm with my office, and then I go back to the ranch at night. And also, pretty much CBJP is about it. CBJP and Warriors Road. That's probably pretty much an American Legion. If you're a Post 283 member, we have an election coming up in 2 weeks. So if you're watching this before the election, I would love to have your vote. I would love to earn your support.
When is the election? What date?
May 17th, 2023. I'm going for second vice.
So this will air May 14th on Sunday. So, if you're part of the Legion over there, Post 283, definitely Andre's running for office. And what position again are you running, Andre?
Second vice commander. Second vice commander of the post. Help the post with events. I'm out in the community. I work with a lot of veterans right now. I bring a lot of veterans to the table. We focus on events next year. Even if our post work with an event coordinator, Andre can still help the event coordinator system and bring the veterans in to her events, his or her events. So I would like to run. and garner y'all vote for second vice commander, American Legion Post 283.
And okay, so you know, that's another thing that people can pay attention to what you're doing, Andre. And then once again, finally, so there's ways that you can connect, you know, back to volunteering with Warriors Road, going on warriorsroad.org. That's, you know, one definitely a thing. The second thing, like you said, is the legal program. Give that page again. How do they contact you there?
You can contact me at andre.andrews@cvjp.org. If you need any legal services, I'll help you out.
Sounds good. And then obviously, if you're a veteran and you're looking for a post to join and you're in the Pacific Palisades area, you can go over to post 283 in Pacific Palisades and join American Legion over there. And then, you know,
one last thing for the American Legion.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Go ahead.
For the first time in a long time, Post 283 has a resolution that made it to the state's desk, got signed by the state commander, and we're working on taking it to national. We've created a video game committee so we can focus on studies of the video games connection to the American Legion, so we can work on membership, camaraderie, and using video games to generate a new aspect of legionnaires coming in with inside of this organization. So we would just love your support for our video game committee resolution that we're sending up the food chain to national this year.
Excellent. You know, you've kind of gone through a long journey from Newark, New Jersey to what you're doing today, between the military, the American Legion, cowboy, being an urban cowboy, man. And it's been it's great to know you, brother. So thank you for coming on the show. But as we wrap up, what kind of message would you like to leave people with? You know, if any final thoughts, any final words for people who are watching the show?
Stay active, stay hungry, never give up. It is not going to be handed to you. You're going to have to go get it. Sometimes take it, but go get it.
All right, bro. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I'm gonna wrap it up. Appreciate you, man. I know you got to get back to work again at the horses, man. Thank you for sharing this with you, and I look to see you. See you soon. Take care, man. Be good. All right. Well, that was a great show. A lot of stuff there with Andre Andrews Jr. And like I said, you can follow warriorsroad.org and find a way to volunteer and support the efforts that Warriors Road is doing. That would be a great thing if you have a chance to do that. And then once again, join me every Sunday at 2 p.m. as I do Live Courageously. And this was a great thing. And please, if you get a chance, subscribe to Live Courageously at my YouTube channel at Duff Square SQ, DUFF Film on YouTube. And I will see you on Sunday, every Sunday, 2 p.m. Have a great one. Thank you.